Good morning, how are y'all today? Welcome to Gale Force Suspension Management's website. We'd like to introduce y'all today to a machine that we've developed over the past 5 or 6 years that we race with on our own secretly. My name is Bubba Gale. Okay, along with John Loper and Kel Gale, we have developed this machine to help promote the needs of what a coilover racer really needs in today's world. Okay, our machine is basically been designed to help ease the setup. A lot of this soft sprung big bar stuff requires a lot of attention to threading coilovers on and off and setting up your cars. The setups are a little bit harder with the high rebound than we used to have. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our machine this morning here to start with. Okay, it's powder coated for real durable. Okay, we've had basically a load cell specially built. No other machine on the market will do what our machine will do here as far as readings. It will keep a total force number, be able to jack it up, use what we call a tear button to get your spring rate at any given point through travel that you want to look at. So you can see how consistent your springs are, rating them all the way through travel. Dual springs, bump stop load pressures. We can rate it all with your head pressure of your shock, the complete package of what you're actually running on your race car. Alright, the machine is on wheels to make it easy for loading. Okay, the first one we built didn't have wheels on it, and the guys kind of beat it up with a dolly, so we incorporated its own dolly mechanism made to it. Has its own mounting points to make it easily mounted in the trailer. This end here, we call this our dismounting section. Okay, this is a way to jack it up without having to unthread your coilover nut all the way. Alright, it's got a free spinning head, the way once we jack it up, you don't have to let it back and forth to establish your number. It's air over hydraulic. Requires about 100 to 120 pounds of air. We suggest you get a little air compressor to mount in your trailer. You let it up and down right here, pretty easy to get to. Has a manual jack handle here that goes in. You can jack it manually in case you don't have any air. Alright, fully chargeable right here. Has a scale right here for jacking it up to measure your center to centers. We'll get into that in just a second here. Alright, what's the advantage of buying one of these machines, putting your money into it? One of the big advantages are you can do all your setups. Once you establish your center to center, weigh out your race car, you can do all your setups on the machine after that fact. Same cross, same wheel weight, same ride height. Alright, one of the big advantages is you don't have to worry about fuel load. You don't have to worry about sitting there half the night waiting for the hauler to leave. Once you establish your first initial setup, after that, you can do all your setups on the machine. Never have to bolt them on and off the car till you're ready to need and put them on. Have a guy in the trailer doing setups while the car is still on the racetrack. Cuts down on your spring shock inventory. With bump stops and the expense of shocks in today's race world, different bump stops that you want, a lot of change and a lot of shimming, a lot going on. Alright, basically no more setting up your scales at the racetrack. Once you establish what you want, you can use your machine to do your weighing, so they don't get the scales quite level at the racetrack. Some of these shows is really hard to level up scales at some of these tracks that we race at. Alright, no more hunting a level spot, try to get it there. No more up and down, laying under the car trying to get your ride height. Cut down on stripping your shock threads out and running bodies of a shock. No more cracking the fenders, busting knuckles, trying to get your car jacked up, jacking it up 50 times, pulling the left rear off, trying to dial her in. Alright, multiple setups on the race car in minutes at the racetrack. Alright, make changes at the track faster than your competition. That's one of the advantages of the machine. Set up your coilovers on the machine, dismount all shocks and springs in a minute. Rate your springs, check your bump stop load pressures. Basically set your sway bar at the shop when you know it's level. Take 10 rounds out, pull both shock springs off, put them back. The accuracy of the sway bar will still be there because you're using the same height load numbers. You won't get your sway bar off. Alright. Now how does all this happen? Alright, how all this will happen is comes with a real nice user manual that helps tell a lot of the stuff that we're telling you here, the way we don't forget. or we're a phone call away, but the user manual is all set up to help you start from A to Z on how to use the machine. Okay? Now, basically how this works is you'll weigh out your race car. Once you establish what you want, as far as you cross, your basic left, your total weight of your race car and all, got it on your wheel scales. Well, with the driver sitting in the car, have someone measure a center to center on the left front, left rear, right rear. Alright, once we established it, we put the car back on jack stand. We bring it over to the machine, okay? Let's just say, for an example, 17 3/4 your left front. Alright, what basically we'll do here is we can jack it up to 17 Okay, jack it up and it gives you a machine load number. That's a little high, so I'm gonna get off of that. I'm gonna use a little bit wider opening. I'm gonna let her back down here. Okay, I'm gonna say our left front is let's just say at 19 inches, the load at the shock and the spring is 724 pounds. All right, our next step here will be, all right, we got the spring on there. We're not sure, okay? Not sure what spring that we had on there. Someone's messed up. We can push tear on the machine here, okay? We'll jack it up. Okay? We're going to establish the spring rate of that spring right there. Alright, the spring rate is 246 pounds. Okay? Push tear again. Our total force number is 960 pounds. Alright, if we're going to graft it out, we'll go in 1/4 inch increments to graft it the way we can save it and repeat it in our data. Alright, we know the car. Alright, that's an inch of travel. It's going up. Okay, we're up to 2 inches of travel here. Our total force is 1,204 pounds. Alright, we're going to look at it, the total number here, this next inch of travel here. Alright, we're going to alright, 1,457 pounds. Okay, alright, now we're basically at 3 inches of travel. Now we're fixing to get on a bump stop load pressure, so I'm going to go up another 1/2 inch. Will be 3.5 inches of travel. I'm going to use tear just to look at the Alright, we're not on the bump stop too hard. Just 136 pounds at that next 1/2 inch. Alright. Well, basically you just rate it on through all the way, get your total stop number. We're 1,585 pounds right there. Okay. We're sitting on a bump stop. That's at 3 inches of travel. Well, you can just say, for an example, that you change a spring. You go from a, say you have a 175 spring on, your total number at your preload is 800 pounds. Alright, with a 175 pound spring, and the car travels 3.5 inches. Okay, we go to a 150. We know our total stop pressure on a bump stop load is 1,570 pounds. Alright, if we're change the spring to a 150, you're going to lose 25 pounds per inch, which is going to be 75 pounds in 3 inches, plus another 1,250 the next 1/2 inch if you're traveling 3.5. So you're going to lose some of your total force number at the end. So that's, you take your little shims, you shim your bump stop load pressure back to 1,570. Okay, so you still have your total stoppage without going out there and knocking the valance off the race car, trying to figure out you put too soft a spring on, didn't have the stop shimmed up correctly. Alright, on this end of the machine here, we talked about featuring being able to change your spring without unthreading the coilover nut. Basically how this works right here is take your spring, mount it in there, okay, put it in there, you jack up this end of the machine here. Requires a little bit of finesse here. Okay, we can pull the retainer off. Take our bearings off. We run some bearing indicators here. Okay, we're going to wet it down. Okay, we're going to take the spring off. We're going to change the spring to another rate. Put it in the machine here. Okay, we're going to jack her back up. It's one of the most unique spring removing tools on the market. Okay. We'll install our bearings back on. We're going to set the retainer back in. Kind of push the shock down and get the compression to hold the retainer. Alright, undo it. We'll put the shock back and spring back in the tool to jack our load number back. Okay, it's low or high, we'll set it right back just like scaling. Alright, that's basically how this end of the tool works. We'll just leave this on there in case y'all want to look at how that worked again. Alright, basically what we got to do here is, it comes with this program right here to install in your laptop or your software that you can keep with you, store your data. I'm sure there's a lot of questions y'all still have. It's basically how our machine works. We have some, we're going to be listing our customer base on our website. As of right now, one of our first customers was David Strimmy. He won the Winchester 400 using the machine last year. Quote from Strimmy was, "I changed 16 shocks and springs at the racetrack. I've been wanting to win this race for a long time, and got the car back to the race shop, put it on the plate, car's on the money. Unbelievable," he says. Okay. Kyle Bush, Tom Bush is a customer. Kyle's using one. Jason Hogan, Mike Cope, Jay Middleton, ASA champion last year. He bought one at the end of last year and used it. Jason Hogan's quote, won 3 ASA races in a row last year after he bought the machine from us. Dan Sleeper bought a machine at Volusia during Speed Week. Jack Landis won Speed Week using the machine. Several other customers, Scott Bloomquist, Eckler, but refer to our customer list and you can see who's all using them. Any of the guys will tell y'all how valuable the tool is. My opinion, today's world, you can't race without it. Thank you for being here at Gale Force Suspension Management. Give us a call. We're glad to help you. I'm sure if you sneak around and look up in some of your competition trailer, you're going to see some of these machines. If you don't have one now, you'll probably be getting one. Be sure that the guy winning doesn't have one, because he probably doesn't.